So there's so many videos that we've talked about in regards to great areas to live in Denver, Colorado, right? Well, on this video, we're going to broaden the horizons a little bit and really bring some interesting stuff in regards to living in Denver.
Yeah, so where do you end up in Denver? Well, today we're going to go over 5 of the top areas.
All right, let's go. All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. If it's your first time watching, we are your Colorado real estate family. Pete and Chelsea Sweeney. What we like to do on this channel and why we really created this channel was to make sure that you have your eyes, ears, boots on the ground experts in regards to Colorado, right? Listen, we invest out of state. We know how hard it is when you're looking at moving into another state, trying to figure out where to live, where to buy, or whatever it might be. That's why we created this channel, so that we could be your experts, helping you, giving you all the insights, cost of living, pros and cons, ups and downs of all these different areas. With that, we also love helping you out with your real estate needs if you're looking at purchasing real estate in Colorado.
So if you're looking to make this beautiful state your home, go ahead and do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're updated every single time a new city or new topic gets released, so that you can familiarize yourself with our beautiful state of Colorado. Also, we're gonna put our phone number down below so you can call or text however you prefer. We also put our email down below in the description. So however you wanna get a hold of us, please feel free to do so. You are getting us every single time.
Yeah, guys. All right, so we're gonna go and dive in this video. And if you haven't noticed, if you've been with us for a while, we used to put drone right after we did that, but we kind of found out that it'd be better just to kind of dive right in. If you like that drone work before we dive in, comment below, let us know. It's like I said, we love putting that drone work in. At the same time though, we've had a few people say that it took too long to kind of get into the substance. So let's go and get in before I go off on a tangent too much. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about 5 areas. And like I had mentioned before, it's not going to be like the Denver city. We've done so many videos in regards to like top spots to live in Denver. Well, what about these surrounding areas in the Denver metro area is what we're really going to dive into. 5 areas. What's the first one?
First one is Westminster, and this is big. Like Peter had said, one of the things we want to highlight are that these areas are blowing up, mainly because of Westminster downtown.
Yeah, Westminster downtown, it is insane. And when we were kids, just a quick backstory, it used to be called the Westminster Mall, this whole area, and it was, I mean, okay. It did have its point where it was a cool spot to go, right? You're a kid, you went shopping in Westminster Mall, that was the hottest mall in Denver Metro North. And then it kind of got a little sketchy.
I mean, so a lot of the like high schoolers would drive around it, you know, and when you went,
or what they call the strip, I think they call it. Let's go cruise the strip.
He might know. That's not what we did on a Friday night. But yes, and then also inside there was the hot air balloon. So at the time that was actually really cool. But how it survived the whole demo of like creating this new Westminster downtown is beyond me. I actually went in it recently and it doesn't even feel like a JCPenney, so I'm not even sure it's gonna survive the whole thing, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, and like I said, like 4 months ago, we made this video about Westminster downtown, really exclusive. If you haven't seen it already, go check it out. That's where we're really diving into this area. But JCPenney like has this old like 80s status brick, and we recorded it 4 months ago. It looks like they were actually doing something to make it look more, up tempo.
Painting the brick though.
I don't know, but it looks like they're trying. I guess we'll kind of see if JCPenney survives or not. But outside of that, the rest of the area looks amazing.
Brand new, super modern. All of the different housing situations usually have some type of rooftop like gatherings. I mean, the whole space is all about gathering. Very unique restaurants, coffee shops, shopping. It's going to give you the walkability that everyone is looking at. In fact, when we talk about a lot of these areas, one of the reasons they're the top areas is because they have that walkability of Denver without actually having to be in the heart of Denver. And people are loving that.
Oh yeah, it's simple. Denver's growing so much that people are finding these areas outside of Denver, hence why we're making this video, that they could live. That also they have the benefits of Denver, walkability, shopping, restaurants. So there's all these little cities, and Westminster is one of them, putting this downtown to really hone in on that and kind of bring those people from outside of Denver who don't want to be like downtown Denver.
Well, and that reminds me too, with this being such a hot spot, one of the, I mean, they want access to Denver. They know it's coming. Denver knows it's coming.
Yeah.
That's why we have the light rail going straight to it.
That's true. The Westminster downtown, they're actually going to be the first of, like, we're covering a few of these other areas that really are honing on that light rail station, but it's going to be coming to that Westminster downtown before any of these areas. So that's huge that you're going to have that light rail station. Say you do want to have a night down on downtown Denver, go shopping down there, boom, hop on and go down. Right now they have a bus station. Same thing, take that all the way down to downtown. So you have the access.
Last note too, in case you're not familiar with Westminster, where Westminster is, one of the things that I've noticed with some of these hot spots are these are really close to highway access. So if you're coming from Denver, you're going to go north on I-25. That's our highway that goes north and south. And then you're going to cut across with what we call is kind of like your shortcut highway. It's like the highway that really cuts across to all of the west side of I-25, and that's Highway 36. And it is a block off of Highway 36, excuse me. And that's huge. That accessibility alone is huge. You can get to Denver in 20, 25 minutes.
Well, and with that access too, Denver is essentially centered right in between downtown Denver and Boulder. And so Boulder. You're 17 miles from Boulder and you're 12 miles from downtown Denver. So it's like they kind of knew. They're like, hey, we know we got these two awesome cities. Let's put ourselves on the map, be right in between them, and we're going to kind of split that, divide that area up and have a place for people to go.
I honestly think, and this is why we put Westminster first, it does have, out of all the areas we're going to talk about, one of the best access to Denver.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, since it's right off the highway right there. It's huge. Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and go into the second area. What is it?
Yeah, and this one, all we're going to do is we're going to travel up 36 a little bit more, and it's Broomfield, more so the Arista area. Arista. And this area right here was seriously established because of the First Bank Event Center. So this is an event center where they hold concerts, UFC fights, all these great things. It's a medium-sized event center. It's not the same size as, like, say, your ball arena. But that was the essentially what made Arista what it is. And so everything from the First Bank Event Center is growing outwards.
Right. So obviously, right as you walk outside of the event center, there is this little downtown, right? Like that. I mean, do you catch the theme here? Yeah. So this little downtown, it's great. It has areas in the center where we saw people doing exercise or yoga. There's restaurants. Almost every single one of them have an outdoor gathering space. It's really trying to encompass this whole live, work, play together, but still be able to have a bunch of different options for living. We talked about this a little bit, that in this type of area, we kind of see around the downtown more of the stacked housing or condos. Yeah,
your apartment style.
But right outside of that is when you start seeing your single families and the newer builds, and a lot of the older neighborhoods that are surrounding some of these areas, we're seeing scrapes and building out from there. So, but Arista, doesn't it feel pretty brand new everywhere?
Yeah, it is. And this is essentially an area of Broomfield that was just all fields, right?
All
and
fields,
so once you put that First Bank Event Center, it just took over all that area. So it's a brand new area. You got the regional airport just right next to you. You have Flatirons Mall that's right next to you. WeatherTech just put it in a huge location right there. And so it's an area that's blowing up like crazy, hence why we wanted to cover it.
We know when an area is getting big, when we start seeing roads that haven't been there get completely demolished and put through. So, for example, what's the 120th?
Oh, 120th, yeah.
120th used to be really awkward. It actually goes east to west and all of that, but they put an entire road that takes you kind of to a shortcut if you're coming from that area all the way to the north of Arista. Yeah. Which again, people they're moving things around to make this as accessible as possible for people because it is blowing up. Yeah, it's a great area. I was just thinking in the back of my head, we've never been to the First Bank Event Center. Yeah, we've never seen a single thing there. Not a single thing. Okay, from
they
now
even
on,
I'm not gonna lie. There's only one concert that I remember that was playing there. I was like, oh, that's gonna be interesting. It was like NSYNC 4 years ago. I was like, you know what? That might be kind of interesting. NSYNC, huh?
Let's be real. The reason we haven't gone to a concert is because we have young children.
That's a fact.
We haven't been to any concert.
That is true.
If you guys are watching and you've been to the First Bank Center, please drop a comment down below. Tell us all the cool things that you've participated in for all of the viewers to see how active that community really is.
Yeah, and I don't know how many of you parents out there feel the same way I do, but you go out and you have an adult night and it's great, but then it gets to a point where it's like, I just want to hang out with my kids, you know?
I mean, we just talk about them the whole time?
Yeah, we're just the rent.
Like, great, let's try to find another topic.
Oh, those times when you're drinking and you're showing everyone else videos of your kids. Oh, you gotta see this when you're flicking through your phone.
He's the worst.
Dave, you still there?
Hello, Dave?
Kevin, that's not a real toilet. Sweetheart, he's pissing in the middle of the whole thing. Buddy, I gotta go.
But Cynthia and I are willing to offer you a life-changing opportunity.
Jason, you don't understand. My son is literally peeing right in the middle of the store. I gotta go.
Go.
He is like total dad. Everywhere we go, I'm like, honey, like I'm trying to be cool and like try to be Chelsea, and he's like, oh my God, watch my son. And I'm like, Oh, anyways, okay.
All right,
Moving
cool.
on.
All right, so we're gonna move a little bit more north, and so we're gonna kind of what we're doing is we're moving like west, more north now. The most northern area that we're gonna cover is the Highway 7 area, and this area has so many different things happening. So you have Baseline, which is over in Broomfield. It's gonna be this new hub in regards to like
insane.
Denver straight up, and then you can go straight across, and it's Boulder. But this amazing center, they're gonna have like all this crazy new urban style living where they have apartments and stuff. They have all this educational stuff. It's like the new style living, most northernmost in the Denver metro area for the most part.
Yeah, and this is just like Peter said, that urban style. So, very little maintenance, but a ton of social gathering space. So again, got social gathering space, being able to have the schools and all that on site. And then we're also starting to see a lot of healthcare kind of come up in this area. We have the new children's hospital. We're starting to see little standalone, the urgent cares and all those things to really provide a lot of jobs in this area. Because as you all know, Denver is huge for jobs, right? And so, but
well, healthcare especially too.
Yeah, and we are seeing a lot of these big areas popping up, also bringing in, I wouldn't say as big of hospitals, but hospitals that employ a ton of people so that they can also keep people close to where they live. And so we're seeing a lot of that, especially with up on Highway 7, that brand new children's hospital.
Well, and so then right across the way, so you have, your Baseline area. If you go down a little bit further south, 144th and I-25, you got the Denver outlets, right? So they threw that in there. Just north of there, you got Topgolf, you got IKEA going in on the northeast side of that intersection. All this stuff, and it's a big reason why we purchased where we are right now is because we knew that this area was blowing up like crazy. And there's so many times that I've talked to you guys when you're calling us about where to move to in Colorado. I was like, hey, you have got to check out North Thornton, North Westminster, Broomfield area because it is blowing up like crazy. And the amount of growth that we're seeing in the equity gains with these houses is insane.
And there's within a lot of them being new builds, you have a lot of options as to what kind of house you're looking for. We can get pretty specific with having all the different,
Oh, yeah.
So
we did a Thornton vlog or whatever, and we had a few people who didn't like how we covered like older Thornton. But I'm sorry, this is the hot spot that we want to be. If you're moving into Colorado, you really want to know what the great spots are in Colorado, and so that's why we really decided to do that. So
it's funny, most people won't even recognize Thornton because North Thornton and we call it older Thornton is so different. And so a lot of people moving in, they want to have flexibility on what their houses are. They want to have some of the newer options, and we're seeing a lot of that being more
that's
popular.
True. All right, cool. So let's say we're at 12 o'clock right now, right? We're going to rotate. We're going to go east to the next city that we're going to talk about. And it's not even a city. I'm going to say it's an area, which is the Gaylord area. So the Gaylord, they put it in this huge convention center. It's Gaylord of the Rockies. With that, you're bringing in a ton of development. So you have Green Valley Ranch, which is like southwest of the Gaylord project right now. Surrounding that, it's like northern Aurora, and this area is blowing up like crazy. It's not quite there, but we really wanted to cover it because it is insane. You essentially had all this land because the Gaylord was built out by the DIA, Denver International Airport. You go out to the airport and it was like a good 10 minutes of just land. Nothing, right?
Nothing.
And so the Gaylord went in and they're like, all right, we got to take advantage of this. There's all these developers going out there building like crazy in that northernmost Aurora part. And so that's a hot spot that you really want to kind of keep your eyes on.
If you were to ask Green Valley Ranch, this used to be like they considered it the boonies, guys. Like Green Valley Ranch was the boonies, okay?
Yeah.
It was the airport wasn't even there yet, and so it used to be. Gosh, where was our airport? Just
it was in Stapleton. Yep.
Which we're getting to. However, it was in Stapleton, so Green Valley Ranch really didn't have a purpose outside of just being on the east coast of a little neighborhood.
There's nothing. It was just eastern Colorado.
Yeah. Now we have this incredible. We have a really awesome airport now. We're going through a lot of construction right now, so it doesn't feel very awesome. But as it's starting to evolve, it is incredible. We have the new hotel and everything. So Green Valley Ranch is right there, and a lot of people are staying in Green Valley Ranch after they get off the airplane and then going to their final destination. But they are going to see crazy change. Crazy
so
change.
Oh yeah, so I helped these clients. I tried so hard because, like I said, we're investors. Obviously, they had a townhouse that they were selling just right over there by the Gaylord. And it was 2 years ago, as I told them, I was like, guys, I don't know if you want to sell this. I would hold on to it, rent it out, do something because you get all that traffic from people who want to stay in from the airport. Not to mention the amount of value you're going to gain. And I was able to convince them into it. But I mean, there's stuff like that I'm always looking at. It's like, should I sell? Should I rent it out?
Right.
And that was one of those things that guarantee the price is probably double what they sold it for right now because of how much that area has grown.
I'm actually really interested now. I'm just like thinking in my head while you're talking that I wonder what like Airbnb is going to look like right there.
Depends. Well, so here's the hard part, and one reason why when we invest in Airbnb, we do it outside of Colorado, is the regulations in Colorado and all these little cities is becoming it's cutthroat, and it sucks having an Airbnb. So we always try and buy out of state for Airbnbs just because Colorado isn't too friendly. Well, the Denver metro area.
It's upcoming, so I doubt there's regs there yet.
Yeah,
Just
possibly.
something to think about, because a lot of
Yeah.
people, they want to still take advantage of all the things at the Gaylord,
Yeah.
but they may want to stay with their larger family.
Maybe.
Just saying. This is our minds, guys. This is what we do. Anyways, okay. Do you want to move on? Is there
Yeah.
anything else?
Yep. So we're gonna wrap
Okay.
around. So now we're like pretty much the furthest east that we're gonna go. We're gonna wrap around. Chelsea already mentioned it. Stapleton, and it's actually not even called Stapleton anymore. Stapleton
Right.
now it's called Central Park, right? They got this like new
It's
name
getting
for
fancy.
it. Yeah, it's all fancy now and stuff. And so Stapleton, as she kind of talked about before, this was where our old airport was. And so it was super cool because there's this nostalgia of this old airport right by Central Park. It's like third largest park in Denver. You have this
It was like 80 mile rate or 80,
80
acres.
80 yeah.
acres of park.
But yeah, if you're standing right there, you have like this old flight tower that they're actually turning into like this cool. It used to be cool, the Punch Bowl, but someone else bought it, and it's this cool like bar / hangout
There's
events
a lot
area.
of cool little things
Yeah,
down there right now.
yeah. So they have a lot of cool like museums. Kingston loves the plane museum down there.
There's a plane museum
Yeah.
now, and they have all the old planes in there. I mean, great things to take your family. I mean, even if you just like planes in general, it's really cool. Even for
yeah.
adults, like it's pretty awesome.
It's amazing. And so the Central Park area, I'm going to say that it's really known for medical professionals. You have this
Yes.
huge campus of hospitals right in the area. You have the VA there. You have, which other ones?
UC Health,
UC
and you
Health.
have Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
And so tons of jobs, especially healthcare jobs in this area. One of our clients before, she's a doctor, and she was looking in
two
that
houses.
area.
She bought two houses.
That's
So she
true.
bought her first one, and then she loved the area so much, but
then
she
they
had to
grew.
upgrade. Yeah,
Yep.
they grew.
Had a
So
little
she literally
family.
a few blocks away from her other house. So
Yep.
this is a huge, like I said, medical professional area. If you're a nurse or a doctor or someone who's moving to this area, you might really, really want to ask us about this because I think it's a really hot spot.
Well, and because it was still growing, we are seeing still the equity gains in some of the old, because there are still some older houses around there,
There
which
is,
is
yeah.
really nice.
Yeah,
So you
south,
have-
and that's more Park Hill area.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have options to buy some kind of an older house,
Yeah.
or now we're starting to see some of the stack things that are a little bit affordable, and then some of our brand new builds. So still a lot of variation because
Yeah.
it was an older area.
That's true. All right, cool guys. I mean, we really want to bring you guys this video because if you look out there like top areas living in Denver, they all pretty much highlight the same areas. We want to go outside that spectrum because I'm sure you're hearing about the Highlands. I'm sure you're hearing about Wash Park, Cherry Creek. All these are highlighting these videos. We want to bring you something new, something that you don't really know about that we as locals see all the time.
Peter had mentioned it earlier on in the video, but we did cover some of these areas, some of the neighborhoods that we recommend in Denver. So if that is something that you want to dive into, some of the more popular, talked about all the times right in Denver,
Yep.
please go check that out. But these are the hot and up and coming things, and we don't want you to miss out on what we're seeing here as locals.
All right, guys. Well, I mean, like always, like I said, if you're moving into Colorado, let us know. We're your professionals helping you with all your real estate purchases. Until next time, we love you. Bye.